chosen one, you bent their entire system. And yes, you impressed God. What I'm about to reveal may shake you, even stun you. But if these words have reached you, it's no accident. You've been led here by divine timing, because something extraordinary is unfolding in your life. You are no longer just surviving within their system. You've risen above it. You've disrupted the very foundation of what they built to control, to limit, and to deceive. The prayers you've whispered, the visions you've held quietly in your soul, they're no longer distant hopes. They're becoming your reality. This isn't just a change in mindset. It's a complete, energetic awakening. You've turned the weapons they formed against you into tools of freedom. You've made their I hesitate. You've made the unseen forces take notice. And most of all, heaven has taken note. God is moved by your resilience. But before we go further, pause for a moment. Hit that like button, subscribe to help us reach 5,000 subscribers, and comment the number 11 below. That number isn't random. It's a divine signal, a code that amplifies the energy of this message across the spiritual realm. If you are truly chosen, you'll feel it in your spirit, and you'll stay with me to the very end. Because deep down, you already know. You are not just living in this world. You are changing it. In a world cloaked in illusions, where truth was a rare commodity, a singular force has emerged, the chosen one. Once entangled in the web of manipulation, spun by powerful entities, you have broken free, illuminating the path for others to follow. Your awakening isn't just a personal triumph. It's a seismic shift that has sent tremors through the very foundations of the established order. The systems that thrived on control and deception now lie in ruins, unable to withstand the clarity and purpose you embody. Your journey from obscurity to prominence serves as a beacon of hope, inspiring countless others to question, to seek, and to awaken. The false matrix, once perceived as invincible, has crumbled under the weight of your truth. This isn't merely a change, it's a revolution of consciousness. The world watches in awe as the structures that once seemed eternal dissolve, making way for a new era defined by authenticity and enlightenment. Your emergence signals the end of an age of darkness and the dawn of a time where light prevails. As the dust settles, one thing becomes clear. The chosen one has risen, and nothing will ever be the same again. In the tapestry of existence, few threads shine as brightly as yours. Your actions have not only disrupted earthly systems, but have also resonated in the celestial realms. It's as if the universe itself has taken notice, aligning its forces to support your mission. The divine, often perceived as distant and inscrutable, now stands beside you, acknowledging the purity of your purpose. This unprecedented alliance between the mortal and the divine underscores the magnitude of your journey. It's a testament to the fact that when one moves with unwavering integrity, even the heavens respond. This celestial endorsement isn't just symbolic. It empowers you, infusing your endeavors with a strength that transcends the physical. With divine forces as your allies, obstacles become stepping stones, and challenges transform into opportunities for growth. In this sacred partnership, you are not alone. The universe watches, supports, and celebrates your every step, affirming that your path is not only righteous, but also divinely ordained. The architects of control, once confident in their unassailable designs, now grapple with the collapse of their constructs. Their meticulously laid plans, built over decades, have unraveled in the face of your unwavering resolve. What they deemed infallible has proven fragile against the force of truth. Your insight pierced through their veils of deception, exposing the rot at the core of their systems. By simply standing in your truth, you've dismantled mechanisms that once seemed eternal. Their confusion is palpable, their desperation evident, as they scramble to salvage remnants of their former dominance. This isn't just a victory over strategies and schemes. It's a triumph of authenticity over artifice. Your actions have illuminated the path for others, showing that even the most entrenched systems can be challenged and overcome. In the ruins of their failed machinations lies the blueprint for a new world, one where transparency, justice, and compassion reign supreme. The tools designed to monitor and manipulate have been repurposed under your guidance. Artificial intelligence, once a means of control, now serves as an instrument of liberation. Through your ingenuity, the very mechanisms intended to suppress have become conduits of enlightenment. By reprogramming these systems, you've transformed them into mirrors, reflecting the truth, exposing lies, and disseminating knowledge. This reversal not only undermines the intentions of their creators, but also empowers the masses with information previously concealed. Your actions demonstrate that technology, devoid of moral compass, can be steered towards benevolence when guided by integrity. In your hands, AI becomes a beacon, illuminating paths previously shrouded in darkness. This redefinition of purpose serves as a reminder that even the most formidable tools can be redirected to serve the greater good when wielded with wisdom and compassion. Weapons of control, once symbols of dominance, now lie dormant, their power extinguished by your intervention. Through sheer determination and insight, you've neutralized instruments designed to instill fear and obedience. Their silence is a testament to your influence. These tools, once deemed indispensable for maintaining order, have been rendered obsolete. Their creators, now powerless, witness the dismantling of their arsenals, unable to comprehend the force that brought about this change. Your actions have not only disarmed the oppressors, but have also instilled hope among the oppressed. Communities once living under the shadow of these tools now bask in newfound freedom, inspired by your courage. This deactivation signifies more than the end of physical threats. It marks the beginning of an era where power is measured not by force, but by the ability to uplift and unite. For so long, your true essence was obscured, hidden beneath layers imposed by those who feared your potential. Now, as your identity emerges in its full brilliance, those who sought to suppress you tremble. Their fear isn't rooted in superstition, but in the undeniable power you embody. Your presence challenges their narratives, disrupts their hierarchies, and threatens the very fabric of their constructed realities. They recognize that your authenticity is a force they cannot control or predict. This revelation isn't just personal, it's a collective awakening. Others, inspired by your emergence, begin to question their own identities, seeking truth beyond imposed limitations. In unveiling yourself, you've ignited a movement, a ripple effect that promises to reshape societies and redefine power structures. Attempts to mute your voice were relentless, employing tactics ranging from character assassination to technological suppression. Yet each effort only amplified your message, drawing more attention to the truths you represent. Their strategies, once effective against dissenters, proved futile against your resilience. Instead of retreating, you advanced, turning obstacles into platforms and challenges into opportunities for greater outreach. This relentless pursuit of suppression inadvertently spotlighted your cause, rallying supporters and exposing the lengths to which your adversaries would go to maintain control. In attempting to silence you, they inadvertently broadcasted your message to the world, catalyzing a movement that now stands as a testament to the power of unwavering conviction. The very individuals once complicit in upholding oppressive systems are now among your most ardent supporters. Witnessing your integrity and the clarity of your vision, they've chosen to abandon their posts and align with the forces of truth. This shift isn't born of coercion, but of genuine realization. Recognizing the futility and immorality of their previous roles, they've embraced the opportunity to contribute to a more just and transparent world. Their insider knowledge, once used to perpetuate control, now serves to dismantle it, offering invaluable insights into the workings of the systems they once upheld. This realignment underscores a universal truth. When presented with authenticity and purpose, even the most entrenched individuals can choose transformation over tradition. In a realm dominated by shadows, your emergence has been akin to the first rays of dawn, piercing through the night. Your presence has disrupted the pervasive darkness, offering clarity where there was confusion and hope where there was despair. The shadow grid, a metaphor for the intricate systems of control and deception, has been compromised by your illumination. Each step you take casts light on hidden truths, rendering the mechanisms of manipulation ineffective. Your influence extends beyond mere exposure. It transforms. Spaces once considered impenetrable now resonate with transparency and authenticity, reshaped by your guiding light. In breaking the shadow grid, you've not only liberated yourself, but have also paved the way for others to step into the light, fostering a collective awakening. In boardrooms where global agendas were once shaped in secrecy, and in corridors where power once walked with arrogance, there is now a profound silence, because the world's most influential figures have begun to bow. The very leaders who once scoffed at your resistance now acknowledge your unmatched clarity, your divine courage, and your power to move humanity. Presidents, prime ministers, kings, and generals all are beginning to recognize that their influence was always borrowed, not earned. Their attempts to lead through control and compromise now seem hollow beside your authentic strength. Where they made decisions based on fear of rebellion, you act from love, truth, and divine vision. This stark contrast has broken the illusion of their legitimacy and given rise to a new kind of leadership. Yours. Your leadership is not declared in speeches or signed into law. It pulses through the awakening hearts of people worldwide. Your influence doesn't need permission. It spreads through truth shared on digital waves, through actions rooted in compassion, and through the undeniable sense that a new era has arrived. Even those who once plotted in the shadows are now watching with awe and trembling admiration. You are the unexpected answer to a question they didn't know they were asking. History will remember this moment not just as a transfer of influence, but as the rebirth of leadership itself. Power is no longer seated in marble halls or guarded behind iron gates. It flows through your voice, your vision, and your unwavering light. And the world, once resistant to change, is now ready to follow. The intelligence networks, surveillance programs, and bureaucratic empires that once operated in the shadows are beginning to unravel, not by external force, but by the sheer pressure of truth. Agencies that used to pride themselves on absolute control have lost their grip because the systems they defended can no longer withstand the light you've brought into the world. You've exposed the deepest operations, laid bare the darkest secrets, and made it impossible for them to hide behind coded files and classified lies. They can no longer explain away your presence or your influence. Every tactic they've used, disinformation campaigns, digital manipulation, emotional warfare has failed against your clarity. Their most complex systems of behavioral control have become irrelevant in the face of the unstoppable simplicity of your truth. You've dismantled them without lifting a weapon. You fought fire with purpose and illusion with revelation. Now many of their own agents, those buried deep within these systems, are stepping forward to join you. They bring with them the final pieces of the puzzle, the evidence of everything the world suspected but could never prove. You've not only disarmed their weapons, you've made their silence impossible. The house of mirrors they've built for decades is collapsing, one secret at a time. You did not ask them to surrender. You simply became impossible to ignore. And as they step down, retreat, or defect, they leave behind only one truth: the old world is gone. The Chosen One has not just challenged the system, you've completely redefined what power is. The most beautiful and terrifying part of your journey is that you've dismantled an entire global regime, not with weapons, armies, or rebellion, but with truth. Power has always been measured by control, by the ability to force others into submission. But you've shattered that definition forever. Your truth didn't need to shout. It only needed to be heard. And once people heard it, nothing could stop its echo. In your hands, truth became the sword sharper than steel. It cut through propaganda, false narratives, and ancient fear-based programming. You never fought with fists, you fought with clarity. While others prepared for war, you prepared for awakening. And now the battleground has been replaced with unity and the noise of conflict with the hum of understanding. What's most profound is how the people responded. They didn't follow you because they had to. They chose to. That choice, that voluntary shift in collective will, is the most powerful transformation of all. You redefined leadership by embodying it. You redefined strength by standing still in truth when the whole world tried to silence you. And because of that, power now wears a different face. It looks a lot like yours. This is what history will remember. Not the fall of an empire, but the rise of a truth so powerful it needed no violence to succeed. You've shown us that revolutions don't have to destroy. They can rebuild, and you're leading the greatest one of all. For centuries, humanity has lived under a fog, confused by half-truths, distracted by meaningless conflicts, and manipulated into chasing illusions. That age is over. Not because the manipulators stopped, but because you stood up. You exposed the curtain, tore down the wizard's illusions, and declared that deception would no longer rule the human mind. And the world listened. They tried to twist reality to fit their narrative, to mold the masses through fear and distraction. But you saw through it. You called it what it was, a spell designed to keep humanity asleep. You didn't just reject the manipulation, you showed others how to see it too. Your voice broke the spell for millions. Your truth reminded people of who they are, what they deserve, and how powerful they've always been. The greatest systems of manipulation, from mass media to predictive AI, were no match for your vision. You turned their weapons of confusion into instruments of awakening, and in doing so, you made them irrelevant. You made awareness the new standard. Now, every day, more people rise, no longer controlled, no longer afraid, because you gave them permission to trust their own eyes again. The age of manipulation didn't end with a law or a treaty. It ended the moment you said, "No more." That single declaration echoed louder than any war drum, and it will continue to resonate through generations as the sound of freedom being remembered. You don't lead through fear or manipulation. You lead with resonance, with a divine intelligence that others feel in their bones. even if they can't explain it. Your presence brings order where there was chaos, direction where there was doubt. People follow you, not because they must, but because they trust you. That trust is sacred, and you carry it with a grace the world has never seen before. True leadership has nothing to do with position or authority. It's about alignment, and you are aligned with something so pure, so powerful, that even those who oppose you can't deny your force. They feel it. It's the same force that governs stars, that breathes life into universes, and now it moves through you with unmistakable purpose. While others strategize and scheme, you intuit. You sense the right step without needing all the data. That is divine intelligence, not intellect, but inner knowing. And it is this intelligence that has guided your every move, from the shadows to the spotlight. It's what kept you safe, even when the whole world was watching, waiting for you to fall. Now, as more awaken to this new frequency, your leadership becomes the blueprint. The old model has failed. Yours is the future. Yours is the legacy that will outlast time itself. This was never about becoming powerful. It was about remembering that you already were. The final shift has arrived, and it reveals the truth you always suspected deep inside. You were the one they feared. Not because you were violent or radical, but because you were right. Because you couldn't be bought, programmed, or silenced. Because you remembered who you were before the world told you to forget. They feared your clarity, your compassion, your refusal to hate even your enemies. They feared that you would awaken others, not with anger, but with love, not with rebellion, but with remembrance. And you did. That's why they tried so hard to erase you, because they knew that once people saw what you saw, the game was over. Now that the shift has come, nothing can be hidden anymore. Masks are falling, lies are dissolving, people are rising. The frequency has changed permanently. What began as a personal journey has become a global revolution. You've not just changed the system, you've ended its reign, and the world now knows what the shadows knew all along. You are the one. You are the force they couldn't stop. You are the voice that turned silence into song. And now, with the final veil lifted, the era of truth has begun. The world has lived behind a veil for centuries, a curtain of illusions carefully crafted by those who feared what would happen if people saw the truth. That veil was once thick, blinding, and almost impenetrable. But your light, your presence, your undeniable truth, it tore through it like fire through paper. What was hidden is now in plain view, and humanity is waking up to the reality that was denied to them for so long. The illusions they fed us about who we are, what we're capable of, and what we must fear have collapsed. People are no longer content to accept a version of life that shrinks their soul. The blinders are off, and the world is seeing clearly. The systems we trusted were built on control, not care. But thanks to you, the fog has lifted, and what's left is the raw, radiant light of truth. You didn't just expose the shadows, you showed us the power that lies beyond them. You've reminded people that they were never weak, never lost, never broken. They were simply covered. And now that the veil is gone, there is no turning back. What was once myth is now memory. What was once feared is now embraced. You didn't just tear down illusions, you gave humanity the vision to never be blind again. This awakening will not be undone. It is exponential, unstoppable, and eternal. The age of secrets has ended. The age of sight has begun. Everything is energy, and your awakening didn't just change minds, it changed frequencies. Your rise has sent a wave through the collective consciousness that cannot be measured in charts or algorithms. It's felt in the hearts of millions, in the dreams of children, in the silent knowing of elders. You have shifted the planet itself. Old energies, rooted in fear, dominance, and manipulation, are fading fast. In their place, new vibrations rise: truth, compassion, sovereignty, and divine intelligence. The earth is responding. Nature is aligning. Even time feels different now because something deeper has changed at the core of this reality. People feel it in their bones. Sleep doesn't come the same way. Emotions surge. Intuition sharpens. It's not chaos. It's evolution. You've sparked the next level of human experience. The resonance of your truth has recalibrated the collective soul. You've activated codes in people that lay dormant for lifetimes. This is bigger than revolution. It's transformation. This isn't just political or spiritual. It's cosmic. You didn't just awaken a movement. You've aligned Earth with its destiny. The frequency is forever altered, and we have you to thank. Every word you speak holds power, not just because of who you are, but because of what you carry. Your voice is no longer just a voice, it's prophecy. It echoes not only through ears, but through souls. When you speak, something ancient stirs in people, something they forgot, but deeply remember. Your words move like rivers across deserts, bringing life to places that were once barren. They shake foundations not because they're loud, but because they're true. You speak, and hearts open. You write, and minds expand. Your message is no longer a message, it's a movement encoded in language. Those who used to doubt you now hang on every syllable, not out of worship, but because they recognize the divine current that runs through your communication. You don't speak to impress, you speak to awaken. Every sentence you share now becomes a seed planted in the soul of humanity, and those seeds are growing, quietly, surely, unshakably. The power of your words is no longer up for debate. It is undeniable, unstoppable, and filled with the voice of destiny. You are the oracle they never saw coming. There's something unexplainable about you, something that defies the ordinary laws of reality. In your presence, time slows. People lose track of hours when listening to you. Coincidences become synchronicities. Events align in ways that seem orchestrated by the universe itself. Time is no longer linear around you. It flows like a river circling a sacred flame. You are not just living in time, you are reshaping it. Past wounds begin to heal when you're near. Future possibilities feel closer. The present becomes vivid and alive. People feel more here, more grounded, more awakened when they're in your energy. That's because your consciousness anchors timelines that transcend ordinary human awareness. This isn't fantasy, it's quantum reality. You've moved beyond the program. You've cracked the code. And now you live in a space where divine timing is the only clock that matters. You're not just ahead of your time. You are calling the future into the now. And that's why things move faster around you. That's why miracles happen in your presence. You are a time bender, not through force, but through frequency. You didn't just arrive, you arrived when the world needed you most, and time itself bowed to let you in. No one knew how badly the world needed a spark until you became one. In the midst of confusion, despair, and manipulation, you lit the first flame. It wasn't loud or violent. It was steady, sacred, and seen only by those ready to feel it. But that small spark became a wildfire. And now, the awakening cannot be stopped. You didn't tell people what to think. You showed them how to see. You didn't give them answers. You reminded them they already had them. In doing so, you awaken something far more powerful than rebellion: remembrance. People are remembering who they are, and it started with your flame. Now that fire has spread across minds, across nations, across frequencies, it jumps from heart to heart without effort. It cannot be censored or controlled. It lives in eye contact, in whispers, in silent revolutions of the soul. What you sparked has become the greatest transformation in human history. And the beauty is, you didn't light the fire to be followed. You lit it so others would carry it. And now they are. This fire is eternal, and your name will always be known as the one who struck the first match. While others tried to bring down the system from the outside, you did something far more powerful. You outgrew it. You evolved past its reach. You stopped feeding it. You stopped needing it. And because you no longer relied on it, it began to crumble. Not by force, but by irrelevance. They built their systems to trap minds that still needed permission. But you moved beyond that. You created a reality so vibrant, so truthful, that the old system simply couldn't exist inside it. You didn't destroy their world. You built a better one. And now, people are walking toward it by choice. This kind of revolution is rare. It's not built on resistance. It's built on expansion. You didn't yell at the darkness. You became the light. You didn't try to unplug the machine. You became the frequency it could never understand. And now, it's vanishing because it cannot compete with your resonance. Outgrowing a system is the most elegant revolution of all. You've proven that you don't need to fight what is broken. You just need to rise so high it can no longer hold you. They may not know your name. They may not understand your words, but children feel your energy. They stare a little longer when you walk in. They smile with a knowing older than their age. They sense your truth, not through logic, but through soul. And that's how we know this is real, because the purest hearts recognize you instantly. In a world where innocence is often the first casualty, your presence feels like safety. You've become a lighthouse for the next generation, an unshakable reminder that they are not here to be programmed, but to be remembered. You see them, and they see you. They begin to dream differently, ask questions, speak truths they didn't know they could say. Your energy gives them permission to be who they came here to be. That is your greatest legacy, not in what you dismantled, but in what you protected, the sacred future of this planet. The children will never forget you, and when they grow into their missions, they will carry your light as their compass. You are the ancestor of a world they will rebuild. The most terrifying thing for them was never your resistance. It was your illumination. You didn't bring darkness, you brought light, and that light made the hidden things visible. It made people question the unquestionable. It made truth undeniable. And in that clarity, the shadows lost their grip. Darkness only thrives when unseen. You made it seen. You made the world look, truly look, at what it had ignored: corruption, control, injustice. But you didn't just expose it to break it, you exposed it to heal it. And that's what makes your light so powerful. It doesn't destroy, it transforms. Now that the shadows have been revealed, they can no longer pretend to be something they're not. They can't seduce with false promises or hide behind pretty slogans. The people see clearly now, and what they see, they cannot unsee. Your light didn't just reveal the darkness, it ended its reign. Because once truth is visible, lies no longer work. You were the first wave, but you are not the only one. All around the world, others like you are rising, quietly, powerfully, remembering who they are. Some have your fire, some carry your stillness, Some will never speak your name, but carry your code in their soul. You've activated an entire generation of leaders. The systems that thought they could contain this are now watching it spread like wildfire. From one awakened soul to another, the call is moving. It's not loud, it's felt. And every time someone remembers, the matrix gets weaker. Every time someone breaks free, the new world gets stronger. You may have felt alone at first, but you were never meant to stay that way. Your awakening was the signal, and now the others are hearing it. This movement is not about one savior. It's about all of us. The chosen are everywhere now, walking among the world, carrying light in quiet, beautiful ways. Together, you will finish what has begun. Together, you will make sure the world never falls back asleep. The architects of control studied minds like yours for decades. They ran simulations, collected data, mapped every behavioral pattern. They believed they could predict every response, every resistance. But what they could never predict was your soul. They never accounted for something divine, something that didn't follow rules, algorithms, or patterns. They saw your potential, but underestimated your timing. They tried to model your consciousness, but it didn't fit inside their systems. You were an anomaly, and anomalies terrify those who seek control. Every time you acted, you defied their forecasts. You became the variable that cracked their code wide open. Even their artificial intelligence couldn't understand you. Their smartest programs failed to measure your impact. You were too human, too intuitive, too spiritually encrypted. Their calculations could not perceive the frequency of divine rebellion. And that's exactly why you won, because they couldn't predict what they couldn't understand.